have it, folks. All right, the draft is about to begin. Welcome to another episode of the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix podcast. Of all the shows, this one might be the most boring to date because who wants to listen to someone else do a fantasy draft? But you know what? We're doing it for fun. We're doing it for practice. And, it's an interesting procedure. Maybe halfway through we'll be like, this is fucking dumb. And we'll just stop. But until then, we're just going to go ahead and do our fantasy draft. So, all right, the draft has officially started. Ooh, I don't know if that sound's going to play every time, but that might get annoying. Josh, how we feeling this morning? We had a little eggs and bacon right before this. Who's about to go first overall here?
Oh, it's Todd Gurley. He just went. Yeah.
Ooh, yikes.
You'd be silly not to take him right now. Who's going to go second is the big question. My guess is Zeke, but we'll see what happens here.
Zeke, huh? Rank order alert.
we might just have more fun reading the comments in the Smack Talk section here. Nobody knows each other, so there's gonna be a lot of internet tough guys, I feel.
No
oh,
doubt.
I called it, Zeke.
Holy shit! All right, Zeke goes second. Oh man! All right, so Josh, we're picked 10 of 12 in this Dynasty League draft. Who I know you've kind of talked about Michael Thomas a lot. Who are you? Oh fuck, Leonard Fournette went third. That was really for me. Le'Veon Bell at fourth.
Yeah, they're going pretty quick. I guess that's what happens when you have a timer on. If this was a live draft, we'd probably be on pick one as the guy did a dance knowing that he got Todd Gurley. I guess we had, how much prep did we do to this? Hours upon less than 10 seconds?
Yeah, I mean that's another conversation we can have, Josh. How much prep do you do going into any normal fantasy draft?
Well, usually I'll sit down at the draft when we're sitting in the draft lobby and look, especially if it's on ESPN and it's a timed one. Otherwise, not a whole lot. I'll look at some rankings here and there and do some mock drafts, but for taking notes, obviously I don't take a whole lot, and I just print off maybe a cheat sheet the day of. Nice.
Yeah, I do almost the exact prep, if not less. I just sit down and let the draft come to me almost every time. So not a big believer in prep. Maybe I'll do some sleeper research, for late round picks, but other than that, whatever, dude. You're not plugged in. That's why you can't hear yourself, you dumbass.
Well, you got to plug me in.
You can plug yourself in. You're an adult, aren't you?
Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. There's a happy Bears fan in this group. I'm thinking I should change my team name to Sad Packers fan. Alvin Kamara went fifth. I guess he wasn't going to drop to 10 anyways, but
he's a younger talent.
Saquon.
Ooh, all right. DeAndre Hopkins.
He wasn't going to fall to us, but
no. All right, so 2 picks until us. All right, look who's left. David Johnson and Antonio Brown still on the board. Do you think Antonio Brown because he's getting older, or why are those guys still there?
Yeah, Antonio Brown's reaching 30, so he's one that if he's on the board at 10, hard to pass. But at the same time, with how running backs have gone off the board, I would think that if we could get Kareem Hunt or David Johnson, because Kareem Hunt's still on the board, and now that I said that, I'm sure someone's going to get him.
Look, you see David Johnson, Melvin Gordon, and Kareem Hunt, so we're guaranteed to get one of them because there's only 2 picks before us. I definitely say we take one of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have no problem with Melvin Gordon either. At 10, and then on the come around we'll have a choice between, unless Antonio Brown gets taken before this, we'll have a chance between Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, Julio, Michael Thomas, Devonta Adams. So our wide receiver, we'll have a good shot at getting a solid wide receiver going into this.
Yep. So you think that'd be too early for Devonta Adams? I know you're high on him, higher than I am, but is Devonta Adams at whatever that is, 15? Is that too soon?
I don't know. I'm a little homer biased, but he's a solid wide receiver. He kind of derailed by injuries last year, but he led. I've said it in I think 2 of the 3 podcasts so far. He's led the league in touchdowns in the last 2 seasons. Aaron Rodgers is going to be around for the next 6 years. He just signed a 4-year deal. So he's
just because you have a contract for 6 years doesn't mean you're going to be there 6 years.
There goes David Johnson, but
rip.
But yeah, no. There's a little bit more stability than what Michael Thomas has in New Orleans with Drew Brees. Odell Beckham just went, so I say Kareem Hunt. But
Kareem Hunt? You think Kareem Hunt over Melvin Gordon?
I do, just because he's a little bit more involved in the passing game.
I mean, yeah, if you like that team better than the Chargers, we can definitely. Co-managers cannot draft, so I guess it doesn't fucking matter. Why do I even exist, Josh?
I guess. So you okay with Kareem Hunt going? Young running back, 8 touchdowns last year.
Yep. The only thing that worries me a little bit is the Chiefs team as a whole, but Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you go ahead and take him. All right. So there goes our first pick of the draft is Kareem Hunt. We got a running back. So you were thinking receiver on the comeback here, Josh?
I mean, if Melvin Gordon's available, taking Melvin Gordon would not be a bad idea either. But there's just there's still a lot of talent left at wide receiver. I mean, Keenan Allen's still available. He's young.
Yeah, he's a target whore when he can actually stay on the field.
Yeah, that's the only concern is that he has had that ACL injury a couple times now. I think that we're sitting pretty with where we're at because there's 7 guys on the board that I would even Mike Evans is available. He'd be a nice guy to grab on the come around if he's still available.
Mm-hmm.
But for what I'm seeing on the board right now, we're going to get stuck with Antonio Brown, Melvin Gordon, Julio, Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, Devonta Adams, A.J. Green, or Mike Evans. So I'm not going to complain too much.
I feel it.
No Antonio Brown.
Yep, Antonio Brown goes. That's shocking. I just switched the stats to play it from their projected to their 2017. I don't know if you care about history or not, but I can always switch it back also.
I didn't even realize you had a display up there. I should be looking at yours, not mine.
I mean, I can't draft, so I mean, you do whatever you want, buddy.
I can pull up the ranking sheet then, and this is great podcasting.
Isn't it? Yeah.
This has the ages on there, so we can...
You're over there keeping track of what we got?
Yep.
Beautiful. So what's that tool you're using there? Fantasy Pros or something? Or
yeah, it's a little wonky at times, but trying to see what happens when I do this.
Yep.
That's not fun.
You're not fun, Josh.
Can't print. Don't have any ink in the printer, so that explains.
Are you not an adult? How do you not have ink in your printer?
Well, I am an adult, but I'm a lazy adult that refuses to change the printer ink, I guess.
Oh my God, Josh.
So a little bit about who we got. Kareem Hunt. He was ranked 15th on this list. So good job, Josh.
Reach. God damn it, Josh. Where was Melvin Gordon ranked?
RB7. Melvin Gordon is...
Oh, Melvin Gordon just went. It doesn't matter. My heart's broken, Josh. God damn it.
Melvin Gordon was RB11. Kareem Hunt was RB7.
What? Okay. All right. I guess I'm confused. And those are dynasty rankings then, though?
Yep, these are dynasty.
Sure.
So the average for Kareem Hunt is 15, I guess. But we also... all of the running backs on this list were gone already. So
sure.
We had to make that decision because if we pass on him there, odds are he's not going to be back when we get to him, and then we'd get stuck with, I guess Christian McCaffrey, if he's still available, we could take him on the come around because he's going to be a workhorse.
No doubt. And plus with the PPR factor, he'll be getting a lot of catches, I think, out of the backfield. So I'd take McCaffrey on the come around. Yeah,
but then the big concern is who do we get at wide receiver? Because that's kind of an important position as well. I believe this league, overall settings, and we did a horrible job at getting set up for this because we were going to come on a little bit early, but duty called, literally. 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, and then 2 flex. So, getting Christian McCaffrey isn't a bad idea because there are more wide receivers on a team than running backs. So if we can get 2 stud starters, then I'd be okay with it, actually. But
Dalvin Cook just went. A little surprised to see him go. But you know what? That guy believes in him. In a dynasty draft, I guess. Looking at these rankings is tripping me out because they're not dynasty rankings, but YOLO swag, 420 blazes, the kids would say. All right, so Julio Jones is at the top of the board, or the top of the Yahoo expert rankings right now. Below that is Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, Devonta Adams. So pretty much all pass catchers. AJ Green and then Gronk. It's hard to decide what's going to be best for us. McCaffrey, I could definitely see him going just based on the dynasty rankings, but we pick next. So the guy who's up right now, as long as he doesn't take McCaffrey, I'm totally fine taking McCaffrey. unless you're changing your mind and you want to take
I would say, Michael Thomas, he's wide receiver 4. Devonta Adams is wide receiver 8. So, we can go. I'd go Michael Thomas if that's something. I know you said before this show that you weren't necessarily comfortable on him as a player, but he's a target whore with Drew Brees. Drew Brees is going to be around for a couple more years at least, and so maybe sell high once we get him if we do. Otherwise, we can, on the come around, we might have an opportunity at Joe Mixon, who's still young, who might have an opportunity to turn some heads. Kenyon Drake is going to be a good pass catcher out of the backfield.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey just went. Son of a bitch.
So I would say, for me, it's going to be between Michael Thomas and Devonta Adams.
All right. I'd say probably Michael Thomas then.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. Michael Thomas is ours. You always wish you can get those 2 stud running backs, but did someone take Saquon already?
Saquon went okay. Like 3 or 4.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention.
But Michael Thomas is 24 years old, so he's not an old man. Antonio Brown's 30, which is probably why he waited so long to get taken off. According to this site here, his ADP is 8, Michael Thomas. So we got him at 14.
Yeah, 15. Yep,
15. So not a bad grab there, especially since we took the guy who was projected at 15 at 10. So made up for it there. He was the best wide receiver available. Julio is wide receiver 7 according to this list. Obviously, if you're going to be a ranking whore, Mike Evans is wide receiver 5. I guess I didn't even see him sandwiched in there. But I don't like not Deshaun Watson. I don't like
Ryan Fitzmagic.
For 3 weeks, and then they're going to put Jameis Winston back in at quarterback.
I think I just read something yesterday that Jameis Winston is not guaranteed the starter position when he's off suspension.
I guess that's probably smart because he wasn't good. I don't think he's ever been good. But
he turns over the ball a lot for sure.
Yes, but yeah. So we'll have to see kind of what happens here. There's not a lot of Keenan Allen went, and then Devonta Adams.
So, we definitely seem to... we can't say we started the trend, but because Antonio Brown went 8. But now it seems like people are starting to go receivers, I think, because they want to have one of each elite
probably
positional
smart
player.
Yeah, and so we're going to make a trade. We're going to trade Michael Thomas and Kareem Hunt for Devonta Adams before the season starts. No. Like I said, I was happy with either or. We could have done Michael Thomas, Devonta Adams, and then just stacked wide receiver. But you and I had that talk about running backs, and I did agree with you there. And so I know you and I were talking about Fournette being available, and the fact that he was gone so early is actually kind of
he went 2 or
shock.
3, I think.
Yeah, he went early.
Early.
Let's see here. We can look. We have the power. He went 3. So a little bit of a summary through the first 2 rounds. Todd Gurley at 1, Zeke at 2, Fournette at 3, Bell at 4, Kamara at 5, Barkley at 6, Hopkins at 7. Hopkins was actually ranked as the number 1 dynasty asset on Fantasy Pros. 8 is David Johnson, 9 is Odell, 10 was Kareem Hunt, 11 was Brown, 12 was Gordon. Melvin Gordon, not Josh Gordon. 13 was Dalvin Cook. 14, Christian McCaffrey. 15, Michael Thomas. 16, Keenan Allen. 17, Devonta Adams. 18, Julio. 19, Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard was drafted by a guy whose name is Happy Bears Fan. So I wonder if there's any homer bias with that.
No, of course not.
There was a comment in the comment section that says reach. So I'm thinking other people might have the same idea.
Mm-hmm. Josh, so obviously we have the little queue feature here on Yahoo. Is there any guys you want to queue up? Obviously we're 14 picks away from our next draft pick, but is there anyone you're eyeing up for our potential next pick?
It might sound crazy, but Zach Ertz, maybe. He'd be a reach, but tight end. Do we have tight end positions in this league? I guess I should check that. Are we going to do a broken fantasy league without a tight end position? Because only idiots would do that.
Josh,
there is a tight end position.
Okay.
So Zach Ertz would be... Oh, hit the mic here. Zach Ertz would be someone... Mike Evans is still sitting there. He's not going to last, but if he does, that would be impressive. Amari Cooper, I don't know if you believe what they're saying about his turnaround season. Juju Smith-Schuster's on the board. see here. I should probably look at what you have up.
I I just have the draft board itself. I don't have anything special. Joe Mixon. They're calling Reach City on that, and AJ Green.
Oh, Joe Mixon went. He was one of the guys I wanted to queue up. That is a reach. I thought he'd be around after our next pick, even. So for our 4th round draft pick.
Yeah, no, Joe Mixon is gone.
Yeah, so that's interesting there. Kaya's in the background, just chewing things up.
Apparently, I can't even add guys to the queue. Why the fuck do co-managers exist in Yahoo? This is fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, we should have signed on with that computer, but oh well.
I mean, I'm signed in as my account. It's just that I'm the co-manager. So, I mean, you would have had to sign in on my computer.
Yeah, so I'm on ESPN now for their sites because apparently I closed down Fantasy Pros. They're having Michael Thomas at 9 and Kareem Hunt at 11 for overall Dynasty value. Who's still available? AJ Green?
AJ Green's gone. Gone as
Mike Evans just went.
Yep.
I
mean, looking at young talent, I guess I don't know how young Devonta Freeman is. He gets hurt a lot, though. Tyreek Hill's on the younger side. Adam Thielen, you probably wouldn't like because he's a Minnesota guy.
Adam Thielen's a little bit older, though. He took him a few years to get into the league. I think he's older than Diggs, so I wish they had their ages on there, but that's why Fantasy Pros was nice, so I'm going to have to go back to that. This makes for great podcasting. So read off some of the top names on that list, and
Gronk, Kelsey, Hill, Freeman, Thielen, Fitzgerald. Again, these are just the redraft rankings, not Dynasty, obviously, but
there's some overlap there. And so,
I really don't want to draft Gronk just because I'm afraid he's going to be in the WWE by next year.
I'm going to put the Ixnay on Gronk. I'd much rather take a young, unproven rookie than Gronk if he's still available, just because of that. This is Dynasty after all, so you got to keep that in mind. I'm pulling up my Sleeper app here because haven't had a plug for them in a while. Sleeper.app. It's a fantasy hosting site. Has some draft boards and some other fun things that you can mock around on here. Different ranking systems, and so I'm going to do that.
Happy Bears fan is talking about pictures of Khalil Mack sacking Aaron Rodgers in a different tab of his while he's drafting with a beer in his hand. So, I mean, that makes me happy. I'm glad we got some Bears fans in here to talk some shit about the shitty Packers. So Tyreek Hill went at 24 there, so Tyreek Hill will not be available for us, which is tragic. Why the fuck do co-managers exist? Co-managers can view but not alter the queue of their co-managed team. That's so dumb. Yahoo, you're just proving to me why you're still the inferior platform to ESPN. I don't care what anyone says.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
So we're gonna do this.
What are we doing, Josh? What is this?
I'm an idiot. Never mind. So yeah, we'll have to edit out everything that I say because I'm bad at this. So Hill just went top of the board. I mean, Devonta Freeman is still available. If we wanted to look at running backs, he is going to be on this list.
He literally just went.
Well,
so
let's forget about that then. So for these dynasty rankings here, Kareem Hunt is actually listed above Fournette. So
sweet.
Interesting. Devonta Freeman, he's 26 years old, so he's not old. He'll have a couple good years left. So he'd be an option. Sony Michel, rookie in New England, he's 23. He'd be a solid add. What other guys are on this list here? I mean, Juju sitting there is kind of a fun thing to look at because Brown's getting older. Juju's stepped up as the number 2. So he'd be an option. You wanted to look at Thielen here, see what he's like. I mean, Amari Cooper's still available. He's 24. Derek Carr's his quarterback. He had a down year last year, so people might not be looking at him right now. But he's the next best wide receiver according to this list. as far as rankings go. Him and then T.Y. Hilton. I trust Derek Carr a little bit more than I trust Andrew Luck right now.
Sure.
And
or
then,
Jacoby Brissett.
But then Adam Thielen's 28 years old. So he is 4 years older than Amari Cooper. Now that I've been talking about Amari Cooper, when are we picking next?
We pick 34, so we got 5 picks to go.
Amari Cooper's gone. Thanks for letting me know. He went right after Devonta Freeman.
Amari Cooper, Travis Kelce, and Gronk are all gone. You were talking, Josh. You want me to just interrupt you with every time someone drafts? All right.
So let's...
Yep. So, I mean, at the top of the list that I'm seeing, not the Dynasty rankings, but Thielen, Fitzgerald, Ertz, Hilton, and Juju Smith. None of those names really stand out to me as impressive. Obviously, I like Zach Ertz. I know he went down a couple of times with injury last year. So I had his backup, Trey Burton, so that worked out for me in my fantasy league. But I think if we take Ertz, we'll definitely have to take Dallas Goedert, his backup this year.
Another one that I'm not even seeing on this list right now because he contributed a little bit last year on a garbage team. But Evan Engram, he's third-ranked Dynasty tight end. So he would be an asset. Otherwise, we did talk about holding out until Hunter Henry. He's on the PUP. So if we were to do Hunter Henry and then grab later rounds and then grab somebody maybe not as high up on the tight end rankings, someone like a George Kittle or a Jack Doyle. And that's just me reading a couple names off.
Do not ever say Jack Doyle again. That name's gross.
Oh, Doyle rules. And so we have...
Juju Smith and Allen Robinson are both gone.
All right, so that kind of hurts us a little bit. Kenyon Drake's available. I'm not sure how you feel on him. He's one of those guys that's getting touted as kind of the next best thing since sliced bread.
Sliced bread, you say?
He would be... I feel like he'd be a reach, though, at this point. And so we might want to just... focus on something else.
Originally you mentioned Ertz. I'd be okay taking Ertz if he lasts the 3 more picks until us.
Okay, so it is 3 more picks till us?
Yeah, I mean, it says right here, Josh, and it's highlighted in red.
Thank you. I guess I didn't even notice the ticker on the side either.
Is this your first fantasy draft?
Kind of. Derrick Henry's available.
I think if we take Henry, we'd have to handcuff him with Lewis, which I wouldn't mind, but just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and Derrick Henry on this list is a 20 RB. So guys like Rashad Penny, who's not even the starter in Seattle, are going to be in front of him. Sony Michel, if Sony Michel hasn't gone, I'd be okay with taking him on the come round if he's still available. Darius Geis is on IR, but he should be good. I
mean, it's probably a little too soon for an IR pick just yet. But obviously we got to be thinking about it.
I'm just speaking out loud now. Diggs. Bleh. If he's still available, I guess I wouldn't have an issue with that. Just because he is...
This guy's about to get auto-drafted. He's running out of time here. Oh, he took Corey Davis?
Sure did.
That guy was not on our radar. I guess I respect the pick, but hasn't he largely been regarded as a bust so far?
Last year he was hurt. Yeah, last year he had some injury concerns. But
I suppose.
But Stephon Diggs is 24. I know he is a Viking, and so just saying his name is kind of making me throw up. But him and Michael Thomas on the same team might have a lot of Minneapolis Miracles with that New Orleans, Minnesota connection.
Just might.
So if you'd want to go with him, he's not even on what our site is, but this is also last year's stats. He missed a couple games, but he did just sign a big contract.
Projected stats again if you want.
He did just sign that big contract, as well as Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins seems to like him in the preseason, so he would be. I would be absolutely fine with taking him, especially over Thielen since he is younger.
So that's. I mean, obviously that I just modified the rankings to show everything. But now if I just take the quarterbacks out, you'll be able to see the top projected players this year.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake's projected up there. Rojo, who bad. Did somebody take Diggs? He's not even on this ranking.
Someone definitely could have taken Diggs. I guess I didn't see it, but so 2 picks until us. Yeah, I don't know if you would assume
Stephon Diggs went in round 2, so
really?
yeah. Yep, he went already. Kenyon Drake just went off the board, so we're up next, and we have zero idea which route we're going. Zach Ertz is still there.
I'll say. What do you mean we have zero idea? Zach Ertz was what we've been talking about. Unless you're having cold feet about the Zach Ertz pick.
Not necessarily. I mean, Zach Ertz is, if we did the overall here. Text. I mean, Travis Kelce, Gronk, Brandon Cooks is, he's probably still available. Josh Gordon, he's rated higher than Zach Ertz as a Dynasty asset. So I know you're not too high on him in the third, but I would be, if you want to do something like Zach Ertz in the third and then Josh Gordon in the fourth, I would be A-okay.
I'm fine with that.
So yeah, let's set that as our plan for now, and if something else were to happen, then we'll have to figure it out between now and then.
Sure.
Has Todd Gurley been drafted yet?
No, I think Todd Gurley's still out there.
There's a lot of first aid symbols next to names on this screen. Are you looking at the IR list?
No, this is projected stats for this year. I just ranked them by what the points they're projected this year.
I suppose.
As you can see.
LaShawn McCoy is still in the NFL.
Rashad Penny just went. So, Josh, are you sure you're okay with Ertz? He's there.
Sure, mine as well. Solidify that tight end position. Carson Wentz is coming back. Oh, I have to draft.
Yes, you do. I cannot do it for some reason because Yahoo fucking blows. All right. We took Ertz, so now let's plan on Gordon the next. If we do take Gordon with our next pick, I definitely think we need to go back and get our second running back with our next pick, which won't be for like another 15 picks, but
yeah,
certainly think we need to get our last starter at least. That one guy's arguing that there's no reaches in Dynasty. Depends on how you look at the future. Well, you can't plan your Dynasty team to win 5 years from now. I mean, the goal is to have a good team for the future, but also to win this year. So I don't know how I feel about that guy's sentiment, but I guess I can see where he's coming from. So Josh, why do you like Josh Gordon so much? Is it just because of his story with substance abuse, or?
Well, I mean, it's that. It's the fact that he's actually tried to come back many times, and then he actually said that he didn't try too hard that first time around, got suspended, got in trouble. It's a great comeback story, but the fact he's a beast on the field. He came from essentially on the couch last season and just tore apart Green Bay, tore apart Casey Hayward, who's the best cover corner in the NFL, according to a lot of people. And so, and I guess I wouldn't say tear apart, but he put up 85 yards. I think there was a stat out there that he put up more yards on Casey Hayward than anyone else all season. Any of the number ones, and Casey Hayward had covered guys like Julio and Mike Evans, and I don't know their schedule, but he covered all the number ones. And so, so he's a talent. He had an entire offseason of practice. He has some question marks next to him. So yes, it may be one of those things like, oh God. But if he works out, getting him is like getting
Adam Thielen just went.
Getting him is like getting a stud guy. He's 27 years old, so he's younger than Antonio Brown and Julio Jones, and he's the same, or he's a year older than David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell and DeAndre Hopkins. So he's not like, it's not like he's ending his career. He's still in that ability to extend it and make it worthwhile. As far as some of the other guys available that might be worth taking, I mean, Alex Collins is a young running back who out in Baltimore, he wasn't expected to do a whole lot last year. The only thing that sucks for him is that he has Buck Allen kind of breathing down his neck. And so it would be nice to get, I think, in a PPR league, a wide receiver at least, if there's no catching running backs kind of high up right now. And so, Alex Collins is 28 on this one. He's behind guys like LaShawn McCoy, who are 30 years old, but Alex Collins is only 24, so something to keep in mind there. Kerryon Johnson would be a guy that I'd be happy with, or Royce Freeman, a couple of those rookies. I don't know if Sony Michel has been taken off the board yet. Nope, he's still on the board, I see. So he might be someone that would be worthwhile. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens in the next few picks. But
I I don't really have anything to add to what you said. Josh Gordon, obviously a good player. This part of the draft kind of sucks because you want to have a good running back, but everyone that hasn't been taken already is always in a running back by committee situation. So that kind of blows, but it is what it is. At this point, you're always handcuffing guys. You're trying to make sure you play the guy with the hot hand, like a Derrick Henry, Deion Lewis relationship, or Chris Carson, Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny's already gone, obviously, but just giving an example of that relationship. So yeah, we got 2 picks until us. Josh Gordon is still there, from what I can tell. T.Y. Hilton just went.
T.Y. was a guy that I was going to mention as a possibility if he was still on the board, because he's proven he can get tons of yards. But we'll.
That's pretty Andrew Luck dependent, I believe, though.
It is. Yep. Brandon Cooks, is he still on the board?
He should be, but he definitely could be gone. Also, he's not in this top list of projected stats, so I would assume a guy like Brandon Cooks would already be gone.
I'm guessing I think we mentioned his name earlier.
Holy shit, a name I just saw for the first time, Chris Hogan. Josh, do you know that he played lacrosse?
Nah.
I know.
Brandon Cooks is still on the board, it looks like.
I'll just let you know, Josh, that I can't mess with the queue, but if you want to, you can go ahead and start queuing up guys that you like for this round. Obviously, we have 1 pick, and then we have a bunch of picks. Our next pick is like 50, 59 or something like that. But you can add some guys to the queue for us to discuss if you want. Just so you don't have to be searching for them. Jarvis Landry just went.
How do I add to the queue?
So you'd have to click
the
on the player. Yeah, it's the star, correct. And then it'll appear in the top right of the screen.
Right, that's
Oh, the guy who's picking right now said, "Here's my reach." Josh Gordon's further down the list. This could be Josh Gordon going right now, Josh. Hold on to your butts.
Oh God, it's gonna be Josh Gordon.
Then what do we do? Do you just go into a panic? How do you feel about Jay Ajayi? Oh,
ooh,
no, he took Kerryon Johnson.
I'm not high on Jay Ajayi for some reason. A lot of people are. So looking at your list here, we have different lists, so I don't know. Oh, you're
again, because I'm projecting by projected stats, and I took out quarterbacks and stuff like that. But yeah, so if you want Josh Gordon, he's still there, buddy. Go ahead and pull the trigger. Don't think too hard about it, though. You might hurt yourself trying to do it and then miss the click. Huh, get it? Miss the click. Huh, wide left. Huh.
That's Josh Gordon is still on the list, but there are also guys like Sony Michel, younger running back in New England.
Do you ever really trust a New England running back?
No. So that's a good point. Josh Gordon, welcome to the team.
Yeah, if Sony Michel is still there when we come back, I'd think about it. Because, normally Bill Belichick doesn't want to invest that much draft capital into a running back for him to be used by committee. But, New England backfield is always a bitch, as in the fantasy circles.
Russell Wilson just went first. Is
that the first QB off the board?
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, thinking of QBs, I'm sure you'd like to go Aaron Rodgers. I don't mind Aaron Rodgers. You think all you have to think about there is how long is he going to play. He thinks he's going to play until 40, but there's not too many young studs. If we could get Deshaun Watson on our next go around, that'd be something worth considering. Certainly.
I definitely consider Deshaun Watson. Aaron Rodgers just went, and so.
But now that scares me that there's just going to be a big run on quarterbacks. So we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, it's a 1 QB league, so if these guys want to take multiple quarterbacks, we can go ahead and sit there with Andy Dalton.
Please do not make Andy Dalton be our fantasy quarterback. I would cry.
But yeah, so we're sitting at
discount double check. I like the reference. Sorry, I'm reading the chat here also as we go through this draft.
Yeah, so we're sitting at 16 more picks till us.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody, it would be very hard to pass on.
Add some guys to the queue, Josh. I literally don't have the power to add to the queue. Just throw some people up there that you're looking at. Obviously, running back, we'd like to get our next starter there if we can get a good value QB.
Okay, I was just about to add somebody to the queue, and you got taken, Alex Collins.
Ooh, yep, there he goes. Maybe you don't say their name. Once you're thinking about them, the other people will draft them, so maybe you can just not do that if possible.
Yep, no, that's gonna have to. That's what it's gonna end up having to be, is me not thinking.
Do you ever really think?
Ooh, Brandon Cooks is still on the board.
Ooh, I mean, cue him up, bud. Ooh, you queued up Robert Woods, really?
Dude, Robert Woods tore it up last year.
No, I don't know if I'd call what he did tore it up, but sure. I like the Lamar Miller queue. I definitely think he's more of a starter than some of these other guys. Donta Foreman, that's his backup, right? I can't think of any other running backs there in
he's
Houston.
coming off an Achilles tear, and they did just say that he is going to be looked at as a third down back or 3-down back. So that's not a bad thing when you're talking about a running back in a decent offense with a mobile quarterback.
Marvin Jones just went.
Why?
Dude, Marvin Jones is actually not bad. Golden Tate, I think, was he was arguably working with the twos this offseason. I think at some point he was having a bad camp, I think, or a bad offseason, something like that. So Golden Tate is not a signed, sealed, delivered type deal. So holy shit, Josh, you really took this Q thing to heart. I mean,
I found out I don't have to click on the player. I could just click on a star. You're making me click on players and then add to the queue. No, thank you. But yeah, I'm just going down adding players that I think are going to be contributors and that are a little bit younger. So there are definitely guys that I'm not queuing up that I think would be worthwhile at some point. So we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there, I guess.
Bridges suck. I don't want to cross any bridges. Yeah, so I mean, I definitely think my personal preference for the next pick, which, quarterback started to go, so I don't think he will be there, is Deshaun Watson. I think he'll lock down the quarterback position for the next 8 million years. But maybe you have a differing opinion.
No, I mean, Deshaun Watson, if he makes it to us, maybe not in this next round, but in the following round. I mean, Carson Wentz is still available. Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson, Jared Goff,
Ew, do not mention Jared Goff in the same conversation as those other two, please.
Jimmy G.
What was this talking about 49ers circle jerk last night? I thought you weren't a fan of the Jimmy G.
I'm not, but Jimmy G is still available. Marquise Goodwin just went. He was one of those guys that I thought would be a fun ad. I'm surprised no one's talked shit about our team. Michael Thomas, Josh Gordon, Kareem Hunt, Zach Ertz. Now we're getting a run of players.
One of them was auto-drafted.
Really?
Larry Fitzgerald just went, and then Golden Tate. I don't think you would queue either of those guys because obviously Larry Fitz is on the older side. Honestly, this is probably his last year, unless they make a run that gets pretty close. Then he goes, all right, one more, which he's probably said 8 times in his career at this point. But I don't think anyone's making fun of our team so far because they just feel bad for us,
Oh, yeah, I don't blame him. Doug Baldwin's still available. Is he on the good side of 30, or is he on that bad side?
You're asking the wrong guy, Josh. He's at the top of this list, though, for people that are still available. The expert rank has him at 37, whatever the fuck that means.
He is 29. Brandon Cooks is 24. So if Brandon Cooks makes it to us, Brandon Cooks is going to be the guy I'm going to click on, and I don't even care what you say. Just because we have... Just because we have 2 wide receiver slots and 2 running, I guess we only have 1 running back.
I know, that's why I said we should target one in this next round.
Yeah, you're right. I'm an idiot.
No, you're not an idiot. I mean, at this point, they're arguably
Chris Hogan just
there's not much difference, and then Royce Freeman, Royce Freeman and then Chris Hogan. I missed Chris Hogan. There you go. So my machine must be a little behind yours. Still 9 picks until us. Lots of time. Lots of players to go. Oh, Josh getting in the smack talk here, saying this isn't a lacrosse fancy league. I don't know if the Australians will get that one or not. I don't know how much football they watch, but
yeah, no, I feel bad for them because somebody said that it was 2 a.m. for them when they're drafting, but
no, it starts at 10 p.m. They're just saying it would go until 2 a.m.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Mm-hmm. And that guy says, "In what way?" I don't know. I don't know if he gets what you're saying or not, Josh. But it's hard to determine for sure.
Or is he talking about something else that was said?
Josh, who knows? You think I can pay attention to this chat here? I absolutely cannot.
I don't know. All right, so let's see. Holy cow. I don't know what these expert preseason ranks. Oh, that's because he got hurt yesterday. Jerick McKinnon's expert preseason rank is 20,006. So
that seems a little high, honestly. 20,006, bro. Well, at least be 2007.
He's ahead of DeMarco Murray, who's retired and yet still being drafted at 57. So yeah, that's kind of funny.
You're kind of funny. So I mean, you got Sony Michel, LaShawn McCoy, Robert Woods all teed up there.
Sony Michel, yeah. I mean, I'd say go. I mean, Sony Michel or Lamar Miller. Cam Newton just went. Cam Newton being the second quarterback off the board is kind of embarrassing.
Cam Newton has been. Oh, there goes Deshaun fucking Watson. God damn it.
Yeah.
Now Cam Newton has been. You can make fun of him if you want. He's been a top 5 quarterback for like the last 3-4 seasons. So a lot of people give him a bad rap, but he's got a lot of rushing in there that helps boost his pointage.
I guess.
All right. So I mean, to fill some airwaves here, Josh, since you have a lot to talk about, I'll start looking at the other team. So Brett's best team, that's probably just his default name. He's got Hopkins and Julio Jones so far, so I'm guessing he went wide receiver. And then he has Alex Collins and Corey Davis. So this guy, Josh, if you didn't know, we have 2 flex spots just in case you weren't aware.
I didn't know that.
So yep, this guy he only has 1 running back so far, and that's Alex Collins. So we'll see how that works out for him. It is a PPR league, but I'm a firm believer that you need at least 1 stud running back, if not 2. So Robert Woods and Doug Baldwin are now off the board. Looking at Check My Balls, that's Eric's team. He took Antonio Brown. He also has Christian McCaffrey, Adam Thielen, and Kerryon Johnson. So Antonio Brown's a good pick, I think. Christian McCaffrey and Kerryon Johnson are both young guys. Kerryon Johnson is the more unproven one, and he competes in a very competitive backfield so far with guys like Theo Riddick, Zach Zenner.
Zach Zenner just went down too, so he's not going to be competing for a whole lot.
Is Amir Abdullah still in that team? Does anyone know? You don't know.
I think he's on his way out. I mean...
Anyways, there's a lot of fucking running backs on that team, so Kerryon's definitely going to have to fight for a spot. This guy's name is Chiefs Stop Lose. Maybe I'm confused. But anyways, it looks like he took Leonard Fournette first overall in his first round. And then he's got Golden Tate, Robert Woods, Joe Mixon, and Travis Kelce. In a 12-man Dynasty League, that's not a bad team. Nothing really impresses me there that isn't named Leonard Fournette, but he's definitely got young talent, so that's kind of what you're looking for. Travis Kelce, as long as he's not like beating up refs, that's a good pick.
Jamal Williams just went off the board. I do not know.
There goes Derrick Henry.
I do not know who would take Jamal Williams over. I guess Aaron Jones is suspended, but I guess, and Jamal Williams has had an impressive preseason so far, but Aaron Jones, I thought, was a better pure runner. And so I guess once we get into the season, we'll see how that shakes out. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not going to complain if Jamal Williams does good. So we'll just see. I just think that that's kind of a shock with so many guys still on the board, like Sony Michel, Rojo, even Lamar Miller is on the board still. So I don't know. I'm thinking that if Sony Michel makes it to us, he'd be a good add. I know he's injured. He might miss week 1, but we could kind of plug and play at that position for that week. And then if on the come round we have the opportunity to snag someone like Brandon Cooks or Lamar Miller, I would say one of those two if they're still there.
Do you think Sony Michel that high? I mean, I think that in reverse. I think we do like Lamar Miller now and then grab whoever's available on the come around. But
that's probably the better idea. Lamar Miller is only 27. He's in an offense where with Deshaun Watson, he killed it. He was top 10 running back with Deshaun Watson. And so if Deshaun Watson stays healthy, he's going to do well there. I have a feeling that we're going to get called a ranking whore if we take him. Or
who gives a fuck what these guys think?
That's true.
But yeah, so going back to these teams here, I really like Cockknocker's team so far. Great name, first of all. It looks like his real name is Kai, but Cockknocker is his team name. He's got Deshaun Watson, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, and Royce Freeman. To me, that seems like a steal in a 12-man league. That seems like a really good team, unless there's something I don't know, Josh. But Dion Lewis is now off the board. I'll still just kind of keep going through these teams. This guy's name is Colm. Or Colm, Colm. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But he's got T.Y. Hilton, Jarvis Landry, Melvin Gordon, and Dalvin Cook. I really like his running backs, Melvin Gordon and Dalvin Cook. T.Y. Hilton, Jarvis Landry are more like a boom or bust type of situation. If they're both good, awesome. But I definitely think there's potential for them to get like 1 target a week. Maybe not 1 target, but 1 reception in a couple weeks this year. So you got to be careful with that. It's 2 picks until us, but until then, I'll just keep going.
Lamar Miller is running back 33 according to Fantasy Pros.
Does Fantasy Pros know something that we don't?
I don't know. But yeah, so we'll. I'm still fine with pulling the trigger on that. There are guys available. Rojo, Sony. So they have Sony Michel at 15. and then Nick Chubb at 16. I don't think anyone's taken Chubb yet.
Nope, Chubb's still there.
And so those two guys are halfway up the board compared to where.
What's Lamar Miller's age?
He's 27 compared to the 22 and 23 of Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. So he's a little bit older for running back, so we wouldn't get much use out of him. But, if we're in what are the odds that, even if he just plays 2 more years, what are the odds that we stick around for 2 years?
Right.
So if we were to do that, then I'm not too concerned about grabbing Lamar Miller, especially since, like I said, he did do quite well with Deshaun Watson.
So this guy's team name is Dalton Abbey. I really hope he's not a fucking Cincinnati fan, because if he is, I have pity on his soul.
Well, he has a Bengals picture.
I know, Josh. But so Aaron Rodgers is his quarterback, and he's got the connection right there to Devontae Adams as his top wide receiver. He's also got David Johnson and Kenyon Drake, and he just took Carlos Hyde as I'm speaking. So that team's not bad. He's definitely focusing on the running backs, which I think you do want high-value running backs. I think, wide receivers, there's much less variance in kind of what you'll get in the middle of the pack, whereas running backs, there's the top tier, and then I think there's a much steeper drop off. So Dalton Abbey, that's your team. Looking okay so far. This guy's name is Erect Dicker. I like that. He's got Russell Wilson, OBJ, Keenan Allen, and Rashad Penny. So I think he has a pretty well-rounded team so far. He's got his stud quarterback. Russell Wilson in standard leagues is actually the top-ranked fantasy player. Period, not like at his position, but just top period. So Russell Wilson's a better player than he gets credit for, I think. And then OBJ and Keenan Allen, both great guys, as long as OBJ's on the field and Keenan Allen isn't tearing his ACL. Both great picks. Rashad Penny, obviously, has got a nagging injury right now. If this guy handcuffs him with Chris Carson, I think that's going to be a solid running back choice right there. So that's a Wreck Dicker. Our pick is up next, but I'll just keep going. We'll go with Buckers right now. That's the guy who took Stephon Diggs they were talking about earlier. He's got Stephon, Juju, Alvin Kamara. He's took Jamal Williams also, and Marquise Goodwin. I think that's a pretty good team as long as he can lock it down. Ooh, so Sony Michel just went Josh. I don't know how that makes you feel. It is now our pick. And you took Lamar Miller, didn't even hesitate to take Lamar Miller. So do you want Brandon Cooks on the come around, or do you want like a Nick Chubb? What are you thinking there?
Either one. I mean, Brandon Cooks is young. He's on his 3rd team. As Willie pointed out the other day, he had 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns last year. He just didn't seem like it. And so I'd say we go with him. He was considered a 2nd round wide receiver just a few years ago, and he's not old. So let's see what he can do in that offense. That's a high-powered offense.
Sure.
I'm trying to scroll back. I'm trying to scroll back and see all of these different things on what people are saying. And somebody on here I know had said that their team's average was
average age was 23.
Yep. And so I want to say that's the guy who you just read with Stephon Diggs and
maybe
all of those guys, the Futbuckers.
Yep.
His name is Giannis, it looks like. I don't know what that little bar above the A is, if it's raining and it's wearing a hat. But
yeah, that A wants to protect itself from the conditions, Josh. Come
on. But, this team, I love Alvin Kamara, obviously. Juju Smith-Schuster, I think, is great. Stephon Diggs is serviceable. And so, it's argued that he's Devontae without the touchdowns. And so that I would probably agree with that. But as long as he can stay on the field, he has those nagging injuries, it seems.
Yep. Trey Burton just went, by the way.
But I don't think, the Marquise Goodwin pick kind of surprised me as far as taking him. I do like our team quite a bit compared to some of the ones that you've read off.
Who's a better receiver than Marquise Goodwin in San Fran?
That's a good point, but who's a better wide receiver than Marquise Goodwin in the NFL?
Okay,
this is,
sure.
Unless he's just picking San Fran players. So we'll have to see, I guess. We're up in 3 picks.
Another team I like here is the Happy Bears fan. Obviously, he's got Allen Robinson and Jordan Howard as kind of a homer picks. I think those are both solid picks.
Oh yeah.
Trying to take away the Bears bias. Allen Robinson is still kind of unknown. You hope he can flourish in Chicago, but you don't know for sure. Jordan Howard is a good entity. The only thing that sucks about Jordan Howard is Tyreek Cohen right behind him. But he's also got Marvin Jones, and he took Saquon. So Saquon, hopefully a generational talent, hopefully carry that team to some playoff appearances and wins. Hopkins, and then Derrick Henry also. So I think this is a good young team also. No real problems with any of the guys on this team. So good for you, Happy Bears fan. His name is Jordan. We won't go to our team right now. So Team USA, this is William. He's got a bit of an older team from what I'm seeing here. He's got AJ Green, Larry Fitzgerald, Gronk, and Doug Baldwin. Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks.
It just goes off the board. But so yeah, AJ Green, Larry Fitzgerald, Doug Baldwin, Rob Gronkowski, and Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell's a stud. I think all those other guys will be at the league in a couple years. Maybe not Doug Baldwin, but Rob Gronkowski is probably going to be in a WWE ring by this time next year. Maybe wrestling Ronda Rousey or The Rock or someone. Larry Fitzgerald, this is probably his last year. AJ Green, he's on the downturn, I think. And Doug Baldwin, he's good. Do you remember what you said Doug Baldwin's age was? Like 28, 27?
Somewhere in there, yep.
So late 20s anyways. Receivers don't have the same shelf life as a running back. They could certainly last longer, but so yeah, that could be a good team for this year and maybe next year, but after that, Nick Chubb just went also. So all these guys we want. Yeah, I mean, give us some more running backs, Josh. Right now, I just see Aaron Jones on our list, and I don't think I'm comfortable taking Aaron Jones here. But touchdown my pants. Edgar, this is the last team I'll kind of profile for now. He's got Cam Newton, and Todd Gurley was his first pick. So he's got Cam Newton, Todd Gurley, Devonta Freeman, Tyreek Hill, and Chris Hogan. Honestly, this is another well-rounded team, I think, so far. He's got two stud running backs. He's got his QB of the future, Tyreek Hill and Chris Hogan. Tyreek Hill is probably better than Chris Hogan because of New England, you really never know who's going to have the hot hand. But that's another good team. I really can't hold it against most of these teams. Just some of these teams I wasn't too high on, but maybe they'll surprise me with their later round picks. But yeah, that's what we got so far. So our turn is next, Josh. Both Brandon Cooks and Nick Chubb are gone, kind of the guys we talked about.
Is Royce Freeman still available? Are you able to check that?
Would he be right here? I could also just search it, I guess, but it's not being very responsive. Royce. Slowly but surely, it'll type in. Nope, he is gone, it looks like.
All right. How do you feel about Chris Carson in Seattle? Stealing that guy from because the running backs that I'm seeing on this list here are just I mean, we can go Jay Ajayi. He's 25. He's not old, so maybe another year in this system. I know I said I wasn't too high on him, but or is he gone too? Oh yeah, he just got taken. That's great.
Jay Ajayi literally right before we talked. I mean, Shady McCoy is still there. How do you feel about Shady? I mean, I know he just hit 30, but
I know, yeah, he's older, so he'd be somebody kind of as a place filler. And then we can draft someone like Jarek or Geis who are injured. Yeah, I mean, there's really Rojo. He's there. Tariq Cohen. I mean, otherwise, if we were to just do all players, I mean, if we waited on a running back, I guess that's kind of probably not the wisest move. But yeah, I mean, Shady, is he going to play? I know he was in trouble with some things. Is he...
Yeah, it's had something to do with getting someone's girlfriend, getting his ex-girlfriend beat up or something like that. He's projected 199 in this list. I don't really know exactly what's going on with him.
Yeah, he could get placed on the exempt list and not play, so that's probably why he's sliding so far. Carson Wentz is still available. If you'd like to lock up a quarterback, he's not going to play week 1, but it's possible that he turns it around and he comes back out.
I'd be fine with Carson Wentz.
We auto-picked. Cool.
Did we take too long?
We took Aaron Jones, apparently.
Ew, because he's the top of our queue.
Yep. Ugh. Son of a bitch.
Cool.
So, whatever. And so, I guess that's why we don't podcast while we draft, and we should be paying attention to the time. The team after us auto-picked LaShawn McCoy, so... but hey, we got a running back. Yay.
Yeah, the one we wanted for sure. Yeah.
Oh, well. Hi, Kaya.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add some more running backs to our thing. I mean, Rojo, Tevin Coleman, Chris Carson, Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen was actually the guy that I was thinking about taking too. So Samaje Perine, Nate, if Nate listens to this.
No chance Nate listens to this.
No. I'm going to add Darius Geis as well to this list just because. But so, yeah, I think that those are a good kind of spread of running backs. A lot of them are, if they're looking at the draft, between 50 and 112. So have some time, hopefully, unless there's a big run on them. The next queued player is Anthony Miller in Chicago. That's just assuming that the Chicago fan doesn't take him.
If you could re-edit your queue also, just in case you run into the situation where we get auto-drafted again.
Yep, I'm doing that right now. I have Keelan Cole on there.
You mean not D.D. Westbrook? All right, so Chris Goodwin, or Charles Goodwin, I think is his name actually.
Chris Godwin?
Is that Chris Godwin? Am I saying, Jesus, am I drunk? It's 9, it's almost 10 in the morning. I think I'm drunk, Josh. But Evan Ingram also just went as a guy we kind of talked about, but we took Ertz, so, we didn't really need a second tight end, but we could have played him in our flex, I guess. That's one thing we can think about, Josh. If there's still some stud tight ends available, we can take that as our second flex spot.
Yeah, and I think Hunter Henry would be a good one to take just to kind of lock him down for next season. Could you imagine having Hunter Henry and Zach Ertz?
I mean, that'd be good as long as Hunter Henry still, he comes back and he's what he was, and then, Phillip Rivers still throwing to him. If Phillip Rivers retires here in the next year or two, you got to question that. But, I wouldn't mind Hunter Henry on the bench this year.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of teams have the tight end as a safety valve. So for the teams that can't necessarily get the wide receivers open, or the quarterback's not necessarily as confident in their arm, that's kind of who they turn to. That's why teams like... That's why last year Evan Ingram did well. I guess last year Evan Ingram did well because he was the only pass catcher on the roster.
There goes Demaryius Thomas.
That's an interesting pick. I mean, it's a good pick. I'd say that's lasted a long time. But what was I lost my train of thought. It's 10 in the morning. I'm not awake yet.
What you going to eat a cheeseburger, you basketball eating walrus ass motherfucker?
Was that what you were thinking?
I was thinking
you
this.
You like a bunch of losers in Minnesota.
Fuck you, Josh.
But yeah, so a lot of times that tight end is going to be that safety valve. Happy Bears fan said he's going to have to ask us to stop taking the people I want. Thanks.
Obviously, he's not talking about us personally,
no.
But I don't think he wanted Aaron Jones if I had to bet. But yeah, he's just the fucking way she goes. Yeah. Give him a little. I'm just playing around with the soundboard at this point. I
just proposed a trade to Happy Bears fan, saying I'd trade him Aaron Jones for Jordan Howard. Let's see how he responds.
Yeah.
Tevin Coleman just went off the board. He was one of the guys that I was eyeing up just because in Atlanta it seems him and Devonta Freeman get that kind of 50-50 at times. I know when I had Devonta Freeman, Tom Brady just went. He's on the good side of 30, right?
Tom Brady's on the good side of 40.
That's also Team USA, who's been auto drafting this entire time. He's going to be the graybeards by the end of this. Tom Brady, Gronk, Fitz. I mean, he has Bell, Green, and Baldwin, so it's not like he's going to be struggling. Peyton Barber just went.
Yep.
Who's going to be that starting running back at least for week 1 until hopefully Rojo can figure it out. But it's not looking too promising for him. So I'm actually just going to take him off the queue in case we run into that issue. AP, should we take him next?
I'd be fine with AD. I mean, maybe in a later round or two, but
yeah,
I'd be fine.
Later round or 10.
Josh, you got to think about this year too, okay? Take it as the reigning champ in our Dynasty League. You got to have a healthy... You can't only think about the future in your Dynasty draft. Otherwise, your team will never be good now, okay?
See, I'm going to toss out a name here, and I want your reaction to it.
Ish. Oh, sorry. Say the name, please.
Duke Johnson.
Oh, I'd be fine with Duke Johnson. I have no problems with him.
Yeah, he actually asked if he could be more of a slot receiver this year instead. And so that would be interesting to see if that happens, because getting Duke Johnson...
Dude, put Duke Johnson top for our list. Duke Johnson should be our next pick. Assuming he makes it that far. Yeah. And then get Carson Wentz on the come around. And look for an elite tight end if one still exists for our flex. So, Josh, something we haven't really talked about much on this podcast, at least, is what are we thinking for Monday? Do you think we want to co-owner in the Victoria's Secret League, or?
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. That is something that Peyton Barber and then Rojo just went off the board. So back-to-back Tampa Bay running backs for some odd reason. That's something we haven't talked about.
A top draft pick. But anyways, yeah. I have Rojo in our other Dynasty League. I hope he's good.
Yeah, no, I remember.
He also fell to 10, so I guess I shouldn't complain, but 24 carries for what? 11 yards. I think they're shitting on your Aaron Jones there, Josh.
No, they're laughing at Rojo.
Oh, is that his preseason stat line? Oh, Josh is spitting out a message here. What's good? Slow and steady wins the race. I like it. I like it.
We're just gonna go full out sarcasm. They're gonna either admire us for our tenacity, or they're going to kick us out of the league.
Jackass.
Yeah, exactly. If this ever gets out to our league, this podcast, oh God, I apologize.
I'm definitely going to share this link with these guys in our Slack chat once it's published. I'll be like, hey guys, we did a little podcast for a draft, just so you know.
Yeah.
I'll definitely share this with those guys.
Well,
will they listen? Absolutely fucking not, because they live the draft, but...
Yeah, no, they'll know exactly which person. Well, maybe Team USA will chime in, because he's obviously not here,
and we're shitting all over his team so far. I mean, it's not bad if we're only talking about a redraft league, but
yeah, no, I mean, and that's just it. Is he watch him pull off the championship with this auto draft
Now,
team.
see that? That's the kind of winning attitude that's going to take this enterprise straight to the top.
Ooh, Jimmy Graham just went, Josh. Does that hurt your heart?
Not really. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a bad player. I'd love to have him on the team, but for Dynasty, he's getting older. He did just sign a 2 or 3 year deal with Green Bay, but the quarterback in Green Bay is garbage.
Just the worst.
Yeah, no. We'll see. He hasn't really used a tight end, but he hasn't had a tight end to throw the ball to. Martellus Bennett gave up on the team last year once he went down. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm looking at the Happy Bears fans team here, and I'm a bit jealous. I do like Allen Robinson. I have him in one of our other dynasty leagues, the Coon Rapids one. Jordan Howard, I think, is going to be a bell cow workhorse. Saquon Barkley is obviously unproven, but he's a stud. I would have taken him. And then Marvin Jones, I know I talked crap on earlier, but he is kind of that guy in Detroit right now, it looks like, other than Golden Taint.
Yeah. I just need to stand for a little bit here. I can bring the mic up to my face, though. These chairs are somewhat comfy, but not super comfy.
Yeah, they're comfy for the first 5 or 6 minutes that you're sitting on them, and then it gets pretty out of control.
Yeah.
But we got 9 picks to us. Touchdown my pants is up. Let's see what they go. So far in the queue, I've got Duke Johnson, Carson Wentz, Anthony Miller, Calvin Ridley, Keelan Cole, Dede, Chris Carson, Tariq Cohen. Didn't Tariq Cohen get drafted? When did it take? No, he didn't. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in my ideal world, I think Duke Johnson, then Carson Wentz are our next 2 picks. Emmanuel Sanders just went off the board.
No, I'm on that Duke Johnson train. I don't know what his age is. That's really the only reason I'm using this site anymore, the Fantasy Pros, because it has the ages. He's 24. Yeah, he'd be solid. He's actually ranked higher than quite a few guys that are. No, he's ranked higher than Ty Montgomery, Chris Carson, Jamal Williams, Jamal Williams is off the board. He is just behind Lamar Miller. Aaron Jones is above Lamar Miller, so hey, who knows? Maybe it was a good auto draft pick. So Cooper Kupp, Jamison Crowder just fell, both of them. They went off the board. I like Cooper Kupp. I think he's going to do well, but they did just bring in Brandon Cooks, so who knows? Rex Burkhead just went. Former Nebraska running back, as my mom would have loved to share with the group. Yeah. I'm trying to... I don't know why, but he just looks like he's 10 years older than he actually is. I want to know how old he's 28, so I guess he's not young. I didn't even realize he was that old. But he just looks like an old man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really does look old. I gotta give you that credit there. He does look old as shit. But yeah, all right. So we got 5 picks until us. I don't know. I'll probably go with maybe it might be too soon to go through all the teams again. But I think after our next 2 picks, I'll kind of go through the teams again, or we can talk about that Victorious Secret League. Either one, because that'll be our dead air time, kind of.
Yeah. The only thing that worries me about Duke Johnson is the fact that he is competing with Nick Chubb and Carlos Hyde right now. Carlos Hyde's not going to be there for, he's there, I think, on a 1-year deal, 2-year deal. But that's one thing I have concerns with on him. And so Tariq Cohen is the other guy that kind of has a similar role, has a lot of those flashy plays. And so he'd be somebody that if you'd want to go with him.
If Duke Johnson was gone, I'd be more than fine with going Tariq Cohen for sure.
Okay. So that's just, I mean, I'm just curious as to how you feel between the two of them, if you'd rather go with Tariq Cohen or Duke Johnson.
I'd prefer Duke Johnson over Tariq Cohen, but like I said, I wouldn't cry if Duke Johnson went and then if we took Tariq Cohen in his place. I wouldn't mind that. I think Duke Johnson has more opportunities because I think he's been kind of an underrated stud these last couple of years, and producing within the Cleveland Browns system, which is pretty impressive to do, I think. And with Isaiah Crowell gone, if Duke Johnson's taking snaps out of the backfield plus being their slot receiver, I think he's definitely poised to do good things. Because who are the receivers there in Cleveland? They've got Jarvis Landry, maybe Des Bryant if he ever signs.
Josh Gordon.
Okay, so
our wide receiver.
Josh Gordon and Jarvis Landry then would be on the outside, but the slot then would probably be Duke Johnson. Or I guess, like I said, I can't name other guys on that team. But
yeah, his little note on Yahoo is.
So we've missed a couple. Sorry.
Yeah, he carried for 3 times, 13 yards in Thursday's preseason game against the Eagles.
So just before the chat gets away from me, I'll just say Njoku went, so he's a tight end in Cleveland. He's another pass catcher. But then Will Fuller, Jesus Christ, and then Mark Ingram are also all off the board. And then it says that the guy asked what is Ingram suspended for. And then it says 4 games. It says PEDs. I was just talking about Mark Ingram's suspension there.
Someone, Erect Dicker, of all people, said pedo. So hopefully that's a typo there.
No. Mark Ingram's a pedophile, for
sure. But yeah, Duke Johnson, he is, his 2018 role is going to be catching out of the backfield, sometimes slot. Carlos Hyde in the way on early downs. He's just a PPR exclusive back, so half-point PPR.
But Duke, if he's the third down back, though, catching out of the backfield, I'm totally, like I said, I'd go with Duke Johnson over Tyreek Cohen, but we'll see. Okay. We got 2 picks until us.
Yeah.
And then Futbucker said one of those, so it's either PEDs or pedo. We're not really sure. If this guy's not careful, if Dalton Abbey is not careful, he might get auto-drafted here, but like we did. So you get like a minute 45 to draft, and we talked for a minute 45 while it was our turn, Josh. That is a poor reflection on us.
We're awful human beings. Chris Carson just went. He was one of the guys that I had queued up.
Yep. I don't have a problem with that other than the fact that he'll be competing with Rashad Penny once Penny's healthy.
Yeah,
so Chris Thompson just went. So like I said, I'd prefer Duke Johnson here, but ultimately you make the decisions, I guess.
Yeah, no, we can take Duke Johnson. He did me well in the last fantasy league that I had him in, so we'll take him.
Right. So hopefully Carson Wentz next. If not, Futbucker seems to be pitched about Chris Thompson, I'm guessing, or Chris Carson,
or Duke Johnson. Who knows? He may just be.
Maybe he's a savant.
Yeah, Dalton Abbey and Michael is gonna try and figure this out for us. He's the bitch, and we'll see what happens here. I don't know if my phone's blowing up because this is connected to this draft or what, but
my guess would be sleeper, but
yeah, sure is. So we are in round 7 of 23. Good Lord.
Yeah, but it's a dynasty draft, Josh.
Yeah, but even just a redraft league, this is taking forever.
Well, it's a minute 45 per pick. People are taking too long.
Can we lower it to 10 seconds a pick, please?
10 seconds a pick is dramatic, but why is your what, Josh? You struggling there?
My laptop's not charging, which I just noticed, which is a good thing because we'd hate for this one to run out of battery as we're drafting. Hang on.
Is it because you're not plugged in? That would probably explain why your laptop doesn't charge if you never plugged it into the power source. Josh, are you an adult here? Or? God. So, Josh, one guy we haven't mentioned yet, who I don't think we should take with our next pick. I'm hoping we take Carson Wentz with our next pick, but maybe in another round or two, is Ty Montgomery. Pretty similar to Duke Johnson, I think. But
yeah, Ty Montgomery would be, I think, if he made it not through. So I'm thinking if we got Ty Montgomery not in this next pick or the pick following, but on that next come around, that would be fine by me. I mean, the 2 young running backs did well last year. Ty Montgomery has had injuries upon injuries, it seems. I would not be shocked if he did more of a Le'Veon Bell, Duke Johnson type role where he does just strictly catch out of the backfield because he was a wide receiver coming out of the draft. Plus, Cobb's getting older. He's going to take some of those. I think he's going to take some of the slot work as well, which is one of the reasons they drafted him in the first place. Sammy Watkins just went, kind of surprising that he lasted that long.
You think so?
No, but. He was one of those highly touted wide receivers coming out of college, and sure, he bounced around a couple times, but we'll see what happens. Even the chat's interested to see how he's going to do. So Carson Wentz, if we have 2 picks, I don't know who's Colm's team. He doesn't have a QB, and check my balls. That's the only position he's missing is QB. He has all of his flex, everything else. So if Carson Wentz goes...
are there any other good QBs that are available right now?
Great question. I'm glad you asked. So for all players, we're getting to that point where QBs are kind of popping up on the ADP. Carson Wentz is on this. I see him there. Drew Brees, if we wanted to go him and then get like a young guy... I don't like Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry. Even though he is actually a solid fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have to like Kirk Cousins as a person if you don't want, but I think he's been, he gets that yardage and those touchdowns usually. It might be different in Minnesota because we have a good defense as opposed to the trash Redskins defense he's been dealing with. So maybe it's like a Drew Brees, where Drew Brees had a down year last year only because he wasn't forced to throw for 5,000 yards a game because he didn't need to anymore.
Carson Wentz just went.
God damn it.
And Kirk Cousins. So that kind of eliminates those options there. I'm just going to... Should we just quit?
Yeah. So is there any other notable QBs or...
Matt Stafford, Jimmy G. I don't think we need to get Jimmy G right now, though.
No.
He's not a proven commodity yet. I mean, if we wanted to do this, we could just, because Drew Brees, yes, he's a solid quarterback. He's only got a couple years left. We could just do the redraft strategy and wait on quarterbacks until round 10, 11.
That's fine.
And then go with somebody young like Anthony Miller or Keelan Cole.
Yeah, I mean, if there's not, so we've only got a minute left here, so let's not run out of time. But is there any other wide receivers? So right now on this list, I see Devin Funchess, Devontae Parker, Nelson Aguilar, Roby Anderson. Any of those wide receivers pop out to you, or would you rather go with a young guy?
I'd rather go with a young guy myself.
All right, 45 seconds. But yeah, I mean, if none of those names pop out of you, I'm fine with going with a young guy. Obviously, I think we might be reaching a little bit for Anthony Miller, but again, it is...
Well, I'd be fine with Keelan Cole as well, who's going to be that number 1 guy this year.
Sure. All right, so yeah, we're at 30 seconds. I'm fine with Keelan Cole, I guess. I don't have no big problems there.
He may have gone undrafted in the NFL draft, but you're getting drafted today, buddy.
Yeah, he's so proud of this moment. Keelan Cole, pick 87.
DJ Moore just went. He was somebody that I was going to queue up. I'm going to queue up Nelson Aguilar because he had a great season last year. Turnaround, I guess. Maybe not great, but there are still a lot of young guys on this board here that could contribute.
Yeah, because so right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs, and then we just got our third receiver. So I mean, we're pretty diverse there. Again, I think if we can sneak an elite tight end with one of our next picks, they can always be played in the flex. So I'd consider that, seeing who's available there. Hopefully, a younger guy like the guy in Miami or whoever. But we'll kind of see what falls to us. But I think we should target a tight end with one of our next 2 picks if a good one's there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't think we need to reach too far for Mike Gesicki or who's the guy, Hayden Hurst. I think Hayden Hurst in Baltimore would be a good pick, and we could probably wait for like round 13 for him even. He's a young guy. I don't think he's on a lot of people's radar. Same with O.J. Howard. He had a down year last year, but he was touted as a good guy coming out of college. I'm just waiting for me to go on about one of these players, then them get picked after I say he's not going to get picked.
Oh, for sure. Sutton just went, by the way, for anyone who cares. But yeah, all right. So this is kind of our downtime on the draft, Josh. A lot of players will go, but so Victoria's Secret. What do we think about that?
Oh, I guess I haven't even thought about it, so that's my bad there.
How fucking dare you, Josh? That should be your number one priority all day, every day.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I mean, technically, I built the table instead of think about that, and the table was for our podcast, so it kind of were. And so, yeah, you know, I haven't thought about too much. Maybe by the end of the podcast, I'll have thought more about it. It's just different. I know we have different opinions. Today's draft has been going pretty easy, but that's a redraft league with a bunch of people that talk a lot of trash talk to me, and so I don't like having my feelings hurt. So maybe if you were to join the team, you'd be able to ease them off of me, and they'd make fun of you more because I could just blame you.
Sure,
Mike
I'll
Williams
be your
just
scapegoat.
went.
That's not a bad pick,
No,
honestly.
I'm surprised he lasted that
He's
long.
been having a great preseason, I've heard. So.
Calvin Ridley just went. Matt Stafford just went. Oh, auto drafted. How many quarterbacks does that guy have? That'd be funny. Oh, never mind. That's not the auto draft team. Awkward.
Auto draft looks like it's Team USA, so that's,
And he's
that's
back.
the green helmet.
Oh, he just took Greg Olson, so another gray
Another
beard.
ageless wonder.
Tom Brady, Larry Fitz, Gronk, Greg Olson. He's going to be the over 40. Jared Goff just went. Oh, God. Here comes the run on quarterbacks.
Yep.
But, if we get through this next round and somebody Mariota's still available. He had a down year.
Mariota, fuck him. I do not want Mariota on our team.
No,
I'm sorry,
neither
Josh.
do I. I'm just reading off names. Drew Brees, is he still there?
He should be. I don't think he went.
No, he didn't. So, if we had Drew Brees and then
You
just...
can put him in the queue if you want. That'll help you keep track of the guys.
I can't
that are
find
there.
quarterbacks because I'm not on quarterbacks. I'm on flex.
Weird. Imagine that, huh?
Drew Brees. They're projecting Jimmy Garoppolo scores more than Drew Brees this year.
That's a bold statement, Cotton.
But yeah, we still have, Jimmy G, Drew Brees, Phillip, Mariota, we both agree on. I don't want Dak Prescott on my team. Matt Ryan, Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes, Luck.
Ooh, I wouldn't mind a Mahomes. How do you feel about Mahomes, Josh?
I'm fine with Mahomes. The boat, Derek Carr. So there's still quarterbacks available. That's really not too concerning there. But it would be nice to get someone like a Drew Brees and a Patrick Mahomes.
I'd be fine with that. Do we go QB back to back in our next two picks, or no? Is that too much?
No, I think we need to focus on, because we have Aaron Jones who's suspended the first 2 weeks. Josh Gordon, who could be suspended at any moment. Our team's pretty solid as far as age goes, but I wouldn't mind doing another wide receiver, and then Drew Brees.
Sure.
Because I don't know if Mahomes is going to be on anybody's radar at this point in the draft. They're going to think they can hold out on him as well.
Devontae Parker's gone. He's been gone for a little bit, but I don't think we announced it yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We have 10 picks to us, too. So, for all I know, all 10 quarterbacks could be off the board.
Absolutely. I'll say all this, and then we'll just get the shaft of it.
But, Tariq Cohen's still available.
Mm-hmm.
If he falls in the next 10 picks, I would say we take Tariq Cohen and then go with somebody like Breeze.
Sure, that's fine. As long as you're comfortable with the wide receivers we have, because we really only have two big names, Michael Thomas and Josh Gordon. Those will probably be our starters every week. But we have 4 running backs already. I don't mind taking Tyreek Cohen though. Just have to make sure we keep in mind we're optioning up depth at the wide receiver position for that. But
Yeah,
I'm fine with Tyreek
Roby
Cohen.
Anderson. There's not going to be any big names available that I can see at least. So we can go. Keelan Cole. I'd say he's a pretty good pick for a first bench slot. But then we only need 2 wideouts. Josh Gordon, Michael Thomas. They're going to play all 16 weeks.
All 16 weeks?
Yep. But no, Keelan Cole. I have in my.
Roby Anderson's gone.
Yeah, I have Anthony Miller queued up. He's been impressive in camp so far. Nelson Aguilar. He had a solid comeback year last year. So I would say either of those guys would be nice. How do you feel about waiting on quarterback for another round after this next 2? Because we could take a Tariq Cohen and Nelson Aguilar, or Tariq Cohen and Anthony Miller.
It's not my favorite situation, but it's hard to argue with the talent that falls to you. I mean, how would you feel? Jimmy Garoppolo just went. How would you feel about having Blake Bortles as your fantasy quarterback? I guess is my only counter question.
I'd ask for my money back, even though this is a free league.
So yeah, I mean that's something to keep in mind. Again, in a lot of my leagues I don't take a quarterback until like the very last pick. So in a dynasty league, obviously that's a different situation. I guess we'll just, like I said, we'll see who falls to us here. We've still got 8 picks until it's our next turn, so the landscape will probably change a lot. Yeah.
So with Jimmy G off the board, and Tariq Cohen's now gone, so there goes that idea. This guy, Team USA. Team USA is probably going to auto-draft Drew Brees because that's how life works.
He already has Tom Brady, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's already got all of his slots filled, so he'll just auto-draft the next best, and unless it factors in injuries. Or here it comes. Marlon Mack just went, and then Team USA hasn't. Are they not auto-drafting anymore?
Their team's not.
Oh, there it goes. Drew Brees. Called it.
Oh, shit. Right.
So Patrick Mahomes it is, and we won't even wait for the come around because, we need to get a QB.
That's assuming Patrick Mahomes makes it to...
Shh. I mean, this... Futbuckers has Matt Stafford. Happy Bears fan doesn't have a QB. Happy Bears fan seems to be doing the whole no QB, no
safety.
Tight end. They've got 2 bench slots, but no QB or tight end. Brett's best team doesn't have a QB. Dalton Abbey has Aaron Rodgers. Eric Dicker has Russell Wilson. So there's 3 guys that could possibly take a quarterback. Check My Balls just said, fuck whoever's Team USA.
Yeah, amen, brother. He's all that auto draft, though. Auto draft for the win. He has Brady and Brees.
Reverse Dynasty. It's so true. But another guy that I'm going to queue up and I want you to react.
I mean, yeah, if we're talking graveyards, that's fine.
I mean, we're talking like round 13, not anytime soon. But if he falls that far, how could you pass him?
I mean, I guess. I suppose, Josh. I wouldn't be super opposed. Soundboard's fun. But yeah. All right. So Drew Brees, and then we got all these people bitching about the auto draft. Yeah. So were there any other? Are you looking at the QBs right now? I mean, you could do the same like we talked Brees and put Mahomes. We could go like Rivers and Mahomes. I know I'm a big Rivers fan, but he's been a top 10 quarterback forever, and he plays all 16 games every year, so there's really no injury questions there. Dak Prescott just went. So how would you feel about a Rivers Mahomes type of situation?
Oh, Anthony Miller just went. To Happy Bears fan, of course. So
Wow. You should talk some shit in that chat real quick. Be like, oh, you really are pulling this whole Bears fandom thing, aren't you? He's homing it hard. Futbucker said he has some connectivity issues.
Sure, you just wanted Dak.
Mm-hmm. So Josh can't type and talk at the same time.
Nope.
All right, so now honestly, there's 2 picks to us. Anthony Miller and then Michael Crabtree went. My fingers are crossed that Mahomes would fall.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not super opposed to going a QB back to back either.
I would be, just because there is some.
What, Nelson Aguilar? Is that the reason you're holding back on that, or what? FTP. FTP, my brother. See if this makes a bunch of noises on the fucking soundboard here. FTP, my brother. Happening. Why does my chat this just everything about this sucks. So no one else has been drafted yet. 20 seconds left for this guy.
Dalton Abbey is scrolling to the bottom to get Andy Dalton.
Think so?
They have Aaron Rodgers, I think. Yeah. Ooh, Kirk.
Christian Kirk, huh? He's supposed to be a stud. Obviously in a dynasty league. That'll probably be confusing for them to see Josh's team come up with
your
two different names. That's our team name, fucking Josh. That you never changed. All right, so we think Mahomes here. Or do you want to go someone else?
No, I took Mahomes.
Ooh, didn't even fucking question it, huh? Free tapioca pudding.
So we now have a starting roster, and so we have
All right.
Patrick Mahomes, QB, Michael Thomas and Josh Gordon are the starting wideouts, Kareem Hunt, Lamar Miller, starting running backs, Zach Ertz, starting tight end. And then for week 1 and 2 at least, Duke Johnson Jr. and Keelan Cole will be our flex with Aaron Jones as our first bench.
Oh man, yeah, that's fine with me. What'd that guy say?
Mahomet, what an arm.
Oh yeah,
Mahomie, I'm guessing, and you just mistyped. Yep, because the T and the Y are right next to each other.
Yeah, yeah, he does. That dude does have an arm. I don't know if it's very accurate, but what's the odd this guy takes Trubisky?
Which one? Check my balls? No, Kyle Rudolph.
The happy Bears fan, you dunce.
Oh yeah, no, happy Bears fan. He's gonna take Troobs. He's just
Troobs, huh?
Say hello, Ben. Hello.
I like it. Yeah. This is kind of a lull in the draft here. We got a pick coming up though, Josh. So what do you think of Nelson Aguilar here? Jordy Nelson. Fucking end me. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy, boss.
Mimsy.
Well, here, I think I do agree with your idea of getting another wideout. So I would say Aguilar is probably going to be the guy on my radar just because he is younger.
Oh, look at all that dead time, Josh. You're really good at just,
Yeah, last year, I mean, I was trying to read, and that's really hard for me.
You can't
and
read.
so last year, I mean, he had 768 yards and 8 touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to ever get 8 touchdowns again, but they're saying he's projected to get 900 yards and 6 touchdowns. So if he can keep catching the ball, he's going to, I would say he's solid. He'd be a solid take. So I saw that another pick just went, but I didn't see who it was. Oh, never
OJ
mind.
Howard. And then Alfred. Oh, fuck. Alfred Morris was the guy I wrote down for us to consider. But
oh, yeah. No, that's Matt Breida is the other guy. So Matt Breida might be actually the better ad later rounds.
Jeremy McNichols also, though? Isn't he a factor or no?
No, I've never heard of that human being in my life, even though I drafted him last year. Nelson Aguilar is only 25, and he's actually ahead of a lot of the guys that have already been taken off the board, like Marquise Goodwin and Chris Godwin and people like that. So if he's not gone,
D.D. Westbrook just went. It is now our turn, Josh.
So Nelson Aguilar, welcome to the squad.
Nelson Aguilar, Hercules.
So now we're getting to the point where we are getting depth and some bench.
Yes, indeedy, sir. So we just took Nelson. Oh, Juice just went. Geis just went.
Geis was the guy I was just gonna mention. They read my mind.
Damn it.
Yep.
And that was the happy. No, that wasn't the happy Bears fan. That was a Rex Dicker. That son of a bitch.
Yeah. That hurts. And so now that he's starting to stash, I feel like other people are going to start stashing. So Hunter Henry's probably going to go off the board before he comes back to us.
You think so? I think that's a lesser known name for sure.
It's possible. I mean, these guys are from Australia. What else do they have to do other than hide from spiders and other kangaroos trying to steal their crops?
They're no fucking joke, though.
So, yeah, I mean, if Hunter Henry makes it back to us, that's going to be an instant click on that first pick for us. And then on the turnaround, I mean, Jordy Nelson or Ty Montgomery, I guess Packerisms there. But
you should queue up some other tight ends that are still available because I think they'll be underappreciated in this league.
Yes,
I think it's a good way to get points.
I
mean, obviously Jordan Reed no longer has Kirk Cousins throwing to him, so he's kind of an unknown with Alex Smith. But Jordan Reed on the field is pretty solid.
Who was Alex Smith's favorite target in Kansas City?
Was it Mr. Travis Kelce?
It absolutely was. But there's a red cross next to him, and so
there's a red cross next to Hunter Henry and Jesse James and Hurst too. You really gonna bitch about Jordan Reed?
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say Jordan Reed is. If you want to find the definition of injury prone, just look at Jordan Reed.
No, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong, buddy. I have no arguments there.
That's the only question. That's the only thing that I have questioning on him. Michael Gallup just got taken.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Here's a guy that's not going to be on many people's radar just because he's had some issues, but he's in Jacksonville now.
Austin Safari and Jenkins, eh?
Dude, we can hold off on him for a while. If we're really playing for the future, we can go with Ian Thomas in Carolina.
Yeah, the guy taking Greg Olson's job eventually.
Yep.
Assuming he's good. Obviously, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But Hayden Hurst, I didn't even know he was hurt. He's got a flow.
He's flow. Excuse me.
His hair. He's got some hair going. He's got that Matthews hair going. But he's out.
If you compare him to Matthews, he's not on the team.
He's out 3 to 4 weeks. Mike Gesicki looks like he should be selling cars somewhere.
I like it. I like it a lot.
The only thing that Gesicki has is he has Tannehill. So Jordan Reed just went. Kalen
Bilal Powell. No comment on the cash? No, because no one cares about you, buddy. Look at
Marshawn Lynch just went. Holy. We're getting
that was
a run.
Was that Team USA that took
Bilal Powell or nope, Team USA took him.
Yep. That guy is that's gonna be Jordan's team for sure. Kaya,
you gotta go outside.
She only scratch walls now instead of scratch. I suppose she can't reach the bell, but
yeah, I think that's her practicing for the bell. So hang on, I'm gonna take her out. If we get back to it, use my laptop to go ahead and take Hunter Henry.
I'll take whoever I want, Josh.
Go ahead, take whoever you want. Ooh, Matt Breida just went. That was a guy that I was looking to queue up. But all right, yep. I will be back in a hot minute. Devin Funchess. I'm gonna add him to the queue. Sorry.
That's fine. I talked about him last time, and you were like, "Ooh," but now you'll add him to the queue, huh? All right, so now that Josh is leaving us, I'll just go ahead and talk about these other people's teams here for a little bit. We've got fucking 11 picks until our pick. So looking back to Touchdown My Pants, I think I had talked about earlier, I liked his team, still like his team. He had a Jimmy Garoppolo and Roby Anderson. So he's adding some good depth there. I have no problems with this team, Touchdown My Pants. Obviously, some of these guys I didn't take, but, Yola Swag 420 Blaze, as the kid would say. We'll look at my favorite Team USA. Over here he's got Tom Brady, AJ Green, Larry Fitzgerald, Rob Gronkowski, Greg Olsen, Drew Brees, Marshawn Lynch. If this guy doesn't win this year, he is absolutely fucked. I don't know why this guy's auto drafting. Maybe he just got fucked at work or something. That blows, but so let's come to the picks that have gone. Matt Breida, I think his name's Austin Eckler or something Eckler. He's running back in LA for the Chargers. James White is also gone, who is going to be one of the good guys in New England this year. Obviously, they never really have one main guy, but he's off the board now. A guy I like that Josh won't hear me talk about, but Justin Jackson. He's kind of the other backup there in the Chargers, on the Chargers team in LA. And then also John Kelly, who's had a good preseason and is likely gonna back up Todd Gurley this year. I think those are guys to look at in the later rounds. Obviously, we're only in round 11 right now. But so yeah, Team USA, that fucking blows. Happy Bears fan, just continuing to add some Bearsdom. He's got Anthony Miller, Calvin Ridley, Will Fuller on his bench now. Demaryius Thomas and Derrick Henry were his flexes. He still has yet to get a QB. Phillip Rivers is still there, though, so this guy could definitely get kind of a stud and then maybe stash a rookie or draft a rookie high next year. So I have no problems with this team so far. Fut Buckers, excuse me. So Sterling Shepard just went in the draft. He's got Matt Stafford, Stephon, Juju, Alvin, Jamal Williams, David Njoku, Marquise Goodwin, Tevin Coleman, and then Dak Prescott and Bilal Powell on the bench. Bilal Powell's kind of fucked me over in a couple leagues, so I usually try and avoid him just based on personal vengeance or vendetta or whatever you would term that as. But yeah, not the biggest fan of his. So then that's his team's okay. Devin Funchess just went off the board as well as Greg Kittle or George Kittle, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know. G Kittle. Looking at Erect Decker. This guy hasn't taken a tight end yet. But he's got DJ Moore, Isaiah Crowell. He took Juice. So that's a nice stash. Delaney Walker's now off the board again to Team USA. He's taken every old player there is because we're all avoiding him. Team USA is absolutely fucked. But again, Erect Dicker, I think you got a solid team. I should probably draft a tight end at some point because, you do need a starting tight end position, but you live your dream, boss. Dalton Abbey. He's added Christian Kirk, which I thought was a really good pick. Cortland Sutton, I was less high on, but he could be good in the next couple of years here. And then Michael Gallup, I can honestly say I don't know who the fuck that is. So I'm guessing he's a Wookiee. He's a Wookiee like Chewbacca. No, I'm guessing he's a rookie or a young quarterback there in Dallas. Quarterback, wide receiver. Dude, I should not be podcasting for this long. So that's Dalton Abbey's team. Colm's team, however you say your fucking name. Oh, Carson Wentz, you're the fucker that took him from us. We wanted him. Alfred Morris, Sammy Watkins, Nick Chubb, Brandon Cooks, OJ Howard, Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon. I think, honestly, if I were to pick a team that I like the most, it'd probably be Colm's team. I think that's, he's a good team here. Oh, we're going on a little run here. So Eric Ebram, Andrew Luck, and something Wilkins. I'm not sure what that name is. The font is kind of small away from me, but it's a running back in Indy there. I think I was talking about Colm's team's probably my favorite out of the ones I'm looking at. Cock Knocker, he's the bastard that took Deshaun Watson. We wanted him. Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, Royce Freeman, Ronald Jones, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Parker, Tariq Cohen. I think this is a good young team. A lot of boom or bust, I think, type individuals on that team. And that's Kai. The Chiefs stop lose. Jared Goff, Golden Tate, Robert Woods, Leonard Fournette, Joe Mixon, Travis Kelce, Peyton Barber, Jameson Crowder, Marlon Mack. I really don't like his depth. I'm not a big fan of Crowder or Marlon Mack or Matt Breida was a guy we were looking at that Josh was talking about. But Josh, you haven't missed much. Obviously, you can see kind of in the queue there who's off the board now. But you haven't missed nothing crazy.
Funchess went.
Yep, Funchess did go. And then check my balls, Antonio Brown, Adam Thielen, Christian McCaffrey, Kerryon Johnson. I agree. I think he announced it before he picked it. I do think Kerryon Johnson was a bit of a reach there. Jay Ajayi, though, and Alshon Jeffrey, kind of with his flex spots, are both from Philly. They could definitely get some good playing time. I really like Kyle Rudolph as a pick just because Kirk Cousins loves to throw to tight ends. So that's definitely a great opportunity for him. And then D.D. Westbrook is a guy who I've had on my other Dynasty team for a little bit here, so I like that pick. Sorry, I'm just trying to move this. There we go. And then, so Donta Foreman just went. Jack Doyle.
Oh, Doyle rules.
For sure, bro. Faux show.
We are up.
We certainly are. So yeah. My audio lasted an hour and a half that time before it shit out on me. So I don't understand why that happens, but.
How do you feel about Hunter Henry?
Just take him. That's who you want. Just take him. It's obviously it's a stash pick, but if he can return to prominence like he had before, he'll be just great.
Hunter Henry.
I already wrote down Hunter Henry, so you better fucking take him now.
Oh,
I wrote this in pin, Josh. You can't undo pin. Pin. A lot of people say pin wrong, but so all right. So who are we thinking on the come around then here, Josh? Latavius Murray just went.
Jordy.
Jordy's there, Ty's there. You queued up Baker Mayfield. I guess that wouldn't be the worst pick in the world, but
He'd be. We could probably get him later because he's not even projected as a starter. Yeah.
Yep.
Jordy or Ty are probably the two that I would go with. Ty Montgomery's probably going to contribute a little bit more than Jordy. But I guess we'll have to see what happens because there's still 3 picks to us. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm guaranteed both Jordy and Ty will be gone in those 3 picks. Guaranteed.
Galladay just went. Oh, that's.
I'm petting your dog if that's okay with you, sir.
No. It looks like of the guys who are left that aren't quarterbacks, Pierre Garçon, Josh Doxson, Rashad Matthews, Kelvin Benjamin, Cam Meredith. He's going to be somebody that not many people think of. just because he was on IR all last year. I would not be opposed to getting Cam Meredith in this next pick. He's got Drew Brees throwing him the ball. Michael Thomas. I guess we also have the other wide receiver in New Orleans. So I don't know how you feel about that. I don't think we'd play both of them at the same time. Theo Riddick.
No, Theo Riddick's garbage.
Theo Riddick is one of the best receiving backs.
Theo Riddick is good for
backs.
2 10-point weeks a year, and you'll never be able to predict when those weeks are.
I guess Nyheim Hines, Matt Ryan just went. So we're up. Jordy Nelson or Ty? Who do you want?
I don't know. Do you have a coin on you? I can just flip a coin on the two, honestly.
We go with Ty since he's younger.
Sure, I'll take Ty Montgomery. He's the Duke Johnson of the Green Bay Packers, I'd say. All right, so we take Ty.
Jerick McKinnon just went. That was a possible stash for us. I had him on the queue, I believe.
Yep. So Ty Montgomery, we just took him. So now we've got another dead period here. Montgomery. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, our team's not looking that bad. Could be better, could be worse. Obviously, Aaron Jones could be a beast, I guess. Ty Montgomery, I think, was a good handcuff.
I know I've shared it before, and I'll probably share it again after this time. But Aaron Jones compared to Dalvin Cook, the first 4 starts that they had.
You've never talked about this, Josh. Please enlighten me.
They actually had very identical stats. So, therefore, transitive property, Aaron Jones is Dalvin Cook. We could trade him straight up, and it should be fair.
No. But so yeah. Is it too early to think backup QB?
That's why Baker Mayfield's tagged.
All right. So then I keep talking about, seeing what, elite tight ends are available. I know you got a few queued up there. We've got plenty of RBs, but I mean, it's hard to know who's going to be good. So I'm not opposed to the step we've got already. Still plenty of rounds left also though, so we just hit round 12 of 27?
Si, senor.
Yikes. So here, Josh, here's the thought. I'll just put it out here. How early is... Oh, wait. So this league has, no defenses, right? Isn't that some bullshit?
Yep. No defense or kickers.
I was just going to say, how early is it too early to start thinking Jags defense here, but never fucking mind. This league's broken. Such an odd thing to me that they decided to go no defenses and no kickers.
It is a bit odd.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm over here queuing up guys. Devontae Booker just went. James Washington was a guy that I guess I'd forgotten all about, but he'd be a good one to add. I have John Ross, who I'm tossing up our queue quite a bit. I'm going to take off Hayden Hurst and Jesse James.
What? Jesse James, the
I'll
future?
keep Gesicki and Austin Seferian-Jenkins on there, though. I have Tyler Lockett added. Geronimo Allison, Paul Richardson.
Geronimo Allison, get out of here, you homer.
All right, Geronimo Allison's gone.
That easy, huh? That's all it took?
Yeah.
You can put Geronimo Allison up there if we could put Laquan Treadwell up there.
We can put Laquan up there.
That was an evil laugh, Josh. I don't know how I felt about that. Josh, I think you're dying.
We could hope.
I got my fingers crossed. So Devontae Booker's also gone. I don't know if you said that yet or not. Just a pretty girl, aren't you? Yeah. I don't know. So, all right, Josh, what's your ideal pick? Our next pick's 154. What's the ideal player you're looking for here?
Todd Gurley gets dropped.
Yeah.
That is ideal. No, I mean, I like our team. And I'm sure every single person who is sitting there and they're drafting, they're saying the exact same thing.
Everyone that isn't Team USA likes their team right now, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, Adrian Peterson was a guy I literally just put on the queue and he got drafted.
Josh, quit thinking about people.
So hang on.
God damn it.
Team USA, Jordy Nelson, that's who he's taking. Pierre Garcon, it was close.
He'll take Jordy Nelson at 148 there, that next pick of his.
Oh, yeah. John Ross just went. He was another guy that I had just queued up, so that's fun. They're watching my queue.
I think, they've hacked into our system for sure. Josh, do you chain smoke by chance?
No, absolutely, maybe. Ricky Seals-Jones, sure. I guess I don't know much about him. Yeah, I know he's in Arizona.
Do you only know that he's in Arizona because you just read it?
Absolutely. And so, yeah. I think a backup quarterback would be a solid play right now. And if I recall, Philip Rivers is available.
A young one? I mean, or we could go both, but Rashard Matthews just went off the board. Josh, I'm going to do what you did to me. I'm going to head upstairs real quick and grab one of those parfaits because that sounds fucking delicious.
Dude, grab me one too.
All right, I suppose. But that means you can't just sit here with dead air. You got to talk about shit. I don't care what you talk about, but you got to talk about something, okay?
All right.
I'm entrusting you my podcast right now.
My podcast, he says. So as Garlic leaves, let's start talking about what really matters. Today in the news, we have the Minnesota Vikings are terrible, as confirmed by Carl Grubschmidt.
Yeah, okay, well, the Vikings are terrible.
Had to play that one. I'm sure if Walters is listening, he's got a kick out of that. We're sitting here. Rashad Matthews just went off the board. Sitting down here, some of the quarterbacks that are available: Ben Roethlisberger, Philip Rivers, Mariota, who Garlic and I both agree we don't want on our team. Alex Smith, change of teams, could provide, meh. He showed that he could play last year. He was one of the top fantasy quarterbacks. Andy Dalton, no thank you. The Boat, Blake Bortles, Derek Carr. Possibly there's nothing in Oakland nowadays. So it'll be interesting to see who falls to us in the next 9 picks. Garlic's gonna love that. Give me water. But Austin Hooper just went, Atlanta tight end. That'll be fun. So yeah, I'm thinking we either go with Philip Rivers, Big Ben, or Alex Smith on this next pick.
Big Ben, no. Those are cookies.
Handmade from the finest cookie trees. Garlic is bringing me hi, Grease. Kaya is apparently thinking that Garlic meant to bring her the mixed berry parfait from the Quick Trip down the road.
The Quick Trip. Thank you for your lovely sponsorship.
Yeah, speaking of sponsors, while we're sitting here,
Round 1.
Hey, I'm Ricky Bobby. Christmas is right around the corner. And what better gift to give a loved one than this Jackhawk 9000? Available at Walmart.
Thank you, Jackhawk 9000. Like they said, available at Walmart. We're going to have another break because I didn't get my parfait open in time. So here's another word from our sponsors.
When you work on your mysterious lady part stuff, you should have the right tools too. So that's why you should use Maypax, the official tampon of NASCAR.
So a lot of picks just went. We're actually up in 3. So C.J. Anderson went after Austin Hooper. Kelvin Benjamin, the offensive lineman trying to play wideout. Jordy Nelson went to Team USA on the auto pick.
I fucking called that shit.
Tyler Lockett, another guy we had queued up, and then Corey Clement went to the Happy Bears fan. He's a solid pick there. Kenny Stills just went. Should be interesting to see how he does in Miami. He's going to be kind of, I believe, their number one or filling in that Jarvis Landry role if Devontae Parker doesn't. So I have Philip Rivers all queued up, ready to go. Hopefully, if he drops to us, that would be solid. 2 picks left to us. I'm going to take Baker Mayfield off. So, yeah. Garlic's in the bathroom going pee. Hayden Hurst just went. So good. And we are up. Gio Bernard went before us. So I'm going to take Philip Rivers, just get that backup QB in. Probably started for the first couple weeks, depending on matchups. Oh, did something happen? Garlic's computer beeped at me, and I don't know why. Okay.
Or because it was our turn. Hiya, you're greasy. All right, I suppose I can come back on the old podcast here. Ooh, Kaya.
Jesus, Kaya.
Kaya is fucking hungry. Did you feed your dog this morning, Josh?
I did. You were there.
Yeah, you fed her bacon. So we took Rivers. Who are we thinking on the turnaround here, Josh? We've got only a couple of players. Our queue is kind of small. I'm not, judging you on it, but so looking at those players, who do you want out of our queue?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked.
Well, are you going to answer that question or?
No, because I don't know.
Okay, that's a great answer. Really love that answer.
Well, I like Antonio Callaway. We have Josh Gordon, though, so I don't think we need two pot smokers from Cleveland. We also have Duke Johnson, so we don't want to give people the impression we actually like the Browns.
Dude, I love the Browns. Let's take them.
I mean, he's considered first-round talent, and that's fallen because he's a bonehead. He didn't do anything in the final preseason game. He only had one target, though. And so it'll be interesting to see. We could probably hold off on him for a couple more rounds even.
Sure.
Cam Meredith would be an option, just, in case Michael Thomas were to go down.
I would say, what's the depth chart in New Orleans look like?
I honestly do not know. I'm too lazy to pull it up. Theo Riddick just went. Mohamed Sanu is gone. So we have 2 picks to us. Paul Richardson would be okay. He has Alex Smith passing to him. So it might, that could work. Terrell Pryor, a very down year last year. Josh Doxson, he's in Washington as well. He might be a better option than Paul Richardson.
All right, so Moncrief is gone, and then James Conner. That's a good one.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty solid pick there. I guess we're getting down to the middle of bleh right now, and so
No doubt.
I would be fine with Cam Meredith or Josh Doxson.
That Cam Meredith sounds good to me. Trigger.
Sure did.
Nice and loud here with this granola. So now we got our big dead period again because we draft on the edge. Is there any other guys like really deep that you are on your mind, Josh? I assume you would have queued him up by now, but maybe not. Like James Conner, I know you liked, but maybe it's someone you haven't thought of yet.
No.
There's no one, no other depth you like, really? Or just sit there and shoot. Never mind. Sorry for asking questions. But that kind of surprised me.
Randall Cobb just went after Cam. After our pick of Cam.
Was that the guy you were thinking about? Was Randall Cobb?
No. We if it's not Devontae Adams, I don't want him catching the passes. I guess some Marquise Vantez Scantling would be nice. He's a rookie in Green Bay. As far as guys who are still kind of available, that are young, Matt Collins, the wide receiver in Philly, he contribute a little bit.
No.
Erect Dicker just said that he's going to bed up in 5 hours for work, so auto draft from here on out.
I respect that decision. He must be one of the Australians. Fighting Kaya for my food right now.
Absolutely. Welcome to the life. So just looking at who's available, Matt Collins I can add to the queue. CJ Procise, I guess that's kind of a crowded backfield, so not necessarily unless he got traded or moved. Buck Allen, he's going to be their third down back, I would feel. Hang on. How about Kevin White?
Oh, get the fuck out of my basement right now.
No, that was definitely a joke. Taylor Gabriel in Chicago, slot guy. I guess Yeah, no, I mean, it's getting down to the bare bones here.
Antonio Callaway just went.
Oh, well, son of a biscuit.
I know.
Who was it? Brett's best team. Well, yeah, good for you. Zay Jones, I just added. Kind of a knucklehead, but he's a young guy in Buffalo. Yeah, I mean, do we really even are there enough people left for us to pick 9 more players? Because this is looking pretty bare.
So one guy we should definitely target is Dallas Goedert. He's that backup for Zach Ertz there.
Yep, nope, I do agree on that. Dalton Abbey, Michael just agreed. This is getting gross now. No disagreement from me.
Is Cole Beasley still available?
Sure is.
How do you feel about Cole Beasley? He's Dak Prescott's favorite target.
Yeah, no, I think I put him in the queue. No, I didn't. I think it's because I didn't like his rap album.
Well, you're not here to judge his rap album, Josh. You're here to make a Dynasty football team.
Yeah, I can add him. There it is, way down here.
Some other guys I wrote down were Justin Jackson and John Kelly. Those are the backups to Melvin Gordon, Todd Gurley, respectively. But I think this is part of the draft where we should definitely start handcuffing people if you haven't already. So,
who's the backup to Todd Gurley?
I believe his name's John Kelly. I mean, that's a crowded backfield, but John Kelly's on my other Dynasty team. So from what I've read, he's had a good preseason so far, and he's going to be the number 2 there on the Rams. Don't mind me just punching my mic.
No, I'll add him because I know that that would be a really good.
Who's Kareem
handcuff
Hunt
there.
backup?
Spencer Ware, I believe.
He's got to be gone by now, I would imagine.
I think I saw him on the list, but he might have been gone because it was a while ago.
Does Chart Kendrick West still exist?
I don't know. Doug Martin's still available.
You.
Frank Gore.
The ageless wonder.
Let's see here. Yeah.
Donta Foreman's for sure gone. Duke Johnson doesn't really have any backups. Keelan Cole. I don't know. Patrick Mahomes don't need a quarterback's backup, but Hunter Henry. Yeah, I guess looking at all the guys we need to handcuff, there's not a lot of handcuffs actually there that we need.
Yeah, no, it so far so good. It looks like.
Yeah, so for sure Dallas Goedert, I guess would be the only big one that of players that are still available. That is. Got 12 more rounds here, so.
Kyle, what are you eating?
I'm eating the floor. So yeah, who did we take at 159 again? Our last pick, Josh.
Spencer Ware went right after our pick, so we got Cam Meredith.
Cam Meredith, that's what it was. I think I'd remember that, but are there any other young receivers in New Orleans? I don't know if they drafted any rookies this year or not. So yeah, I mean, I think if Cole Beasley's still available, I think I don't know if I'd consider that a steal, but I think Cole Beasley would be a good player to target with our next pick, unless you have a differing opinion.
I would say John Kelly. Get that handcuff in.
Well, I mean, so are you reading about him? Like, is there any news you can click on for him, or no? Is he just blank?
Rams RB John Kelly rushed 15 times for 64 yards and 2 scores in the last preseason. He is 46 carries for almost 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. For the preseason, it has 6 receptions. He's locked in as Todd Gurley's primary backup. Would be instant RB2 with room to grow where Gurley to go down with injury.
Sure, I'm fine with John Kelly then. Any other prominent backups in the league that have been overlooked so far? Since we have such a deep roster. One guy took Melvin Gordon's other backup, so he's not available. Bilal Powell's obviously gone. Who did we talk about? It was Matt Breida and Jeremy McNichols, or who was the other one to target in San Fran there? Do you remember? Oh, you're useless to me, Josh. God. Yeah, I don't know. This is definitely an issue part of the podcast. I don't know that we even need to continue podcasting at this point, but
Probably not. If you want to say if we want to bid adieu right now, our team at this point in time is Patrick Mahomey, Michael Thomas, Josh Gordon, Kareem Hunt, Lamar Miller, Ertz, Aaron Jones, Duke Johnson, Keelan Cole, Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Henry, Ty Montgomery, Phillip Rivers, and Cam Meredith. Shooey indeed. This is Hidden Oaks Overdose. I'm Josh, my partner in Garlic, and we are signing off.
yeah.